The running shoe market is packed with options these days. There's shoes for every different type of run. Racing shoes, long run shoes, speed session shoes, recovery run shoes. You name it, the manufacturers are making it. And while the manufacturers are loving all of these different types of shoes because they're persuading us to go out there and buy these massive shoe rotations, for some people it's just not possible or even necessary. They just want that one shoe to do it all. So if that's you, you're after a single pair of running shoes that can handle just about everything pretty well, then you're in the right place. I'm going to be breaking down my top picks for those daily running shoes. Shoes that are reliable, versatile, comfortable, shoes that you can go for an easy jogging, pick up the pace in, and even get on the start line of a race if you want to. I've got 8 shoes to take you through here across 4 different price categories. There's going to be something here for everybody, and I'll give you my favorite one at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. As always here on the channel, I bought all of these shoes 100% with my own money to give you that completely honest, unbiased review. And I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that supports the channel by liking the videos, sharing with their friends, subscribing to the channel, and checking out my own website, benparks.com, where we sell the best running hats, technical gear, and training plans to help with your running. We've just launched a lovely range of long sleeve tees now that are available to order and shipping all around the world. Feel free to use code YouTube10 for 10% off your order. All the links are down below. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and enabling us to review product as it should be, completely unbiased and unsponsored. Right, let's get stuck into all of the shoes now. We're going to be starting out with the cheapest, going to the most expensive. The first one being that sub £120 category, starting out with the Adidas SL2. Price-wise, the Adidas SL2 set me back £110. Stack height 36mm and a 9mm drop. Weight-wise, a lovely 287 grams for me in my UK size 12, which was a little bit too small. So I'd recommend, if you're looking at this shoe, going half a size up. The midsole, we've got a layer of that lovely Light Strike Pro, which is Adidas' most premium foam, and that's sandwiched between 2 layers of the Light Strike 2.0 for that durability to make the shoe last that little bit longer. And there's no plate of any description in this shoe. As I said, sizing wise, these do run a little bit small, so I'd say go half a size up. I got my normal size and they were kind of okay, but if I was going back for another pair, I would go half a size up. Right, let's start out with my likes with this shoe. It's super lightweight, it's snappy, and it's fun as well. The midsole offers a really engaging ride in this shoe, and it's got a really good turn of speed for something at this price point that's pretty much unheard of. Of course, it's not as fast as a shoe with the plates and the rods and things like that in, but it really does well regardless of that, and at this price point, it's fantastic. I really like the foams they've used in the shoe as well, sandwiching that durable foam in between a layer of that really nice lightweight, engaging, soft, springy, responsive foam in there as well. I'm not quite sure why Adidas have done this, because one of their very cheapest shoes really is one of their absolute standout successes of the year, in my opinion. You've also got really good durability with the shoe, and it's also been really versatile. The outsole grip was fantastic when I tested this, so a good winter running option. With my dislikes with the shoe, as always, it's not all smiles. If you do have wide feet, this is probably going to be one to miss. Adidas shoes generally are on the narrow side, and this one is especially narrow, unfortunately. Also on the dislikes, it might be just a little bit too soft for some people, and it's not the best in the corners, a little bit unstable because it's so narrow there. But overall, a really fantastic value shoe out there, one I'd wholeheartedly recommend for getting the majority of your runs done really well. But price is a really big factor in your buying decisions, and I've got another one coming up now, which is the Puma Velocity Nitro 3. Price-wise, this set me back £110. Now, you can usually find this one a little bit cheaper. Stack cut at the back, 36mm, 10mm drop overall. Weight-wise, a little bit heavier than the Adidas one there, 336 grams for me in my UK size 12, which was true to size here. Midsole-wise, we've got Puma's standard entry-level foam, their Nitro foam, and there's no carbon plate in this shoe. And underneath, we've got the Puma grip, which is fantastic, one of the best grip outsoles in the running shoe market out there. Brilliant in the winter, especially as conditions turn a little bit wet. Likewise with this shoe, it's really comfortable. The Nitro foam is fun and bouncy, really versatile, and feels happy at all different paces and different distances as well, especially in the long runs. As I said, great grip in all weathers with this shoe, one of the best out there regardless of the price. So a good solid winter option. Dislikes wise with this shoe, again, like the Adidas shoe, it's a little bit on the narrow side. Not as bad as the Adidas shoe, so it will be okay for the majority of people. They did used to make a wide version, maybe you can find it, but I can't find it out there for sale anywhere at the moment. But overall, it's a shoe that is massively underpriced in my opinion. If you can pick up a pair at RRP or even cheaper ideally, then you can be getting a really good solid daily shoe. It's just a little bit firmer than the Adidas shoe, so some people might like that. So if you like a soft squishy shoe at this price point, go for the Adidas. If you like your ride to be a little bit firmer, feel a little bit more of the ground, then go for the Puma. Right, let's move up a little bit in price now. 120 to 150 pounds. At this point, we're going to be getting some higher quality foams. Durability is going to be a little bit better, and we're going to start to see some rods and plates appear in some of these more expensive shoes. But not with the first one, which is the Asics Novablast version 4. No plates and rods in this shoe, just a classic all-round training shoe. Price-wise, this sent me back £135. Stack height at the back, 41mm. A lot more foam underneath our feet here at this price point. 8mm drop overall. Weight-wise, 300 grams. Not too bad for that amount of foam. Midsole-wise, we've got the FF Blast Eco Plus cushioning. Sizing-wise, I'd recommend just going half a size down in the shoe from your regular one. Right, let's start out with my likes. It's a great balance of light, cushioned, and also responsive, while being super comfortable as well. Just a lovely all-around package. Good width in the shoe as well, and you can also pick up the pace really nicely in the shoe and run a long way in it. It's good for those marathon training long runs. It's a perfect shoe for anyone that's just starting to take their running a little bit more seriously, and you don't have any of the fancy tech, the rods and the plates and all of that stuff in there. You're not sure how that's going to go, and this is a really good option and get a nice standard training shoe. Dislikes wise, the wet grip isn't fantastic in this shoe. Now they do make a TR or a trail version of this shoe for very light trail runs. It's exactly the same shoe, just a different grip on the bottom. But overall, the Novablast 4 is a super versatile shoe at a really great price point. Probably the most comfortable shoe here on the whole list, and it's probably the shoe I find myself recommending more than any other to new runners, people getting into the sport, just looking for a nice standard daily shoe to get a lot of their runs done. Well, now I said at this price point we're going to start to get some rods and plates, and that's what we're getting with the Adidas Boston 12, using Adidas's energy rod technology, these glass fiber infused energy rods that run throughout the shoe. This shoe set me back £140. Stack height at the back, 38mm for a 7mm drop overall. Weight-wise, a little bit more than the Novablast, probably because of those rods inside the shoe there. 318 grams from me in my UK size 12. Sizing-wise, the shoe was a little bit too big for me. I wish I'd gone half a size down. I did order my usual size 12. It's strange, with the first Adidas shoe, it was a little bit too small, then this one's a little bit too big. I wish manufacturers would get this right across their whole range, but just with the lack of padding at the back of the shoe, just had a little bit too much space around my ankle. But anyway, let's start out with the likes here. It's a really grippy shoe. We're now seeing Adidas's Continental grip outsoles. Continental, they do make car tires, but they also make the grip on the bottom of a lot of Adidas shoes as well. Fantastic for wet weather. Probably the best option out there for grip on the bottom of the shoe. Or maybe this or the Puma grip. I don't know, it's a real toss up between them, but they're both fantastic. It really delivers a fun and engaging ride, and really happy to be picking up the pace. Feels like you spent a lot more than £140. The stability is much improved versus the outgoing model, and you really notice it especially in the cornering. It's just got that nice slightly wider base, and you can feel this in the upper as well. It's a really accommodating upper. Amazing for Adidas, which always do tend to run a little bit on the narrow side. But this shoe has got a good amount of space. This is a shoe that I could really see someone standing up to the start line of a 5k, 10k, right up to a marathon at distance in this shoe, and feel like they've got a good shoe on their feet for running this race. They don't need a full-out flagship carbon racing shoe. It also feels really nice and lightweight on the foot as well. Really helps to get that leg turnover going really nicely, but also a good amount of cushioning that will help you in those longer runs. Dislikes wise, for me, it's all about the back of the shoe here, just minimal padding. For me, it didn't really give me any issues. I didn't get any heel slip, but I have been reading about a few people having some heel slip issues. You can always go for that heel lock lacing, get a better lockdown with the shoe as well, but it's just something to be aware of. For me, I just like a little bit more padding at the back of the shoe. But verdict, overall, if you're someone that likes a little bit more of an assisted feeling, a little bit more tech in their shoe, wants to pick up the pace a little bit more, then something like the Boston at 12 would be a really good option. It's not as comfortable as the Novablast, but it can go a little bit faster than the Novablast. Now, interestingly, Adidas are about to drop the Adidas Evo SL, the much more affordable option of their flagship Pro Evo, which was way over £400. Now, they're dropping this lightweight daily speed shoe for around about that £130 price point. I'm going to get my order in at the end of this week, so get subscribed on the channel. Really interesting shoe review coming up there in a few weeks. Right, we're going to be spending a little bit more money now in the £150 to £200 price bracket. We're getting some even more premium materials and generally a better quality of product that should last a little bit longer. Starting out, we're going to be having chat about this, the Nike Pegasus. Plus, this set me back £165. Stack height at the back, 36mm, 10mm drop overall. Weight-wise, 313 grams for me in my UK size 12, which was true to size for me. Midsole wise, we've got a full length of Nike's flagship Zoom X foam here. They're premium foam, which we see in the likes of the Vaporfly and the Alphafly. They're all out super shoes, and there's no plate in this shoe. Likes wise, it's just a really versatile, fun foam. A lot of people, me included, just absolutely love Nike's Zoom X foam, and it delivers a really fun, engaging, bouncy, soft ride here. And this shoe can do all of those runs pretty well. Those easy runs, speed work, tempo, longer runs. It looks good too. I've been wearing this shoe casually on my travels recently as well. It's the kind of shoe you can go around the shops, go to the gym, go for a run in, and it's also head and shoulders much better than Nike's standard Pegasus shoe. So it's really definitely worth paying that little bit more to get the Pegasus Plus. Dislikes wise, it is a little bit on the firm side. It's a little bit more of the kind of ride would be expected from a few years ago. I quite like it, but not everybody will. You've got that lower stack height, more of a traditional feeling on the road as well. But for some people, they're not going to be fans of all this max stack height shoe with the plates and the rods in there. This is a nice traditional type feeling shoe, bit of a more old school running shoe with that very high quality foam. But if you'd like a plate in your shoe at this price point, then have a look at the Saucony Speed version 4. A very nice lightweight speed / daily shoe option out there. Stack height at the back, 36mm for an 8mm drop overall. Just 285 grams for me in my UK size 12. Midsole wise, we've got the Power Run PB foam, a nylon plate in the shoe, but it's not too aggressive. So it's the kind of shoe you can be using for those daily training miles. Size wise, this was good. This was true to size for me. Starting out with the likes with the shoe, it works so well at all different paces. It's really good at those short, snappy workouts, as well as that cruising marathon pace. Saucony have called this their speed shoe, which is what it's really designed specifically for. Those faster workouts, those 5Ks, 10Ks, and half marathons. But it's the type of shoe that you can get a lot of your easy miles dialed in as well. If you want a bit more of an engaging ride, where you're going to feel a little bit more of the ground, again with that lower stack height. The plate in the shoe not only gives it a good snappy speed, but it also gives it a good amount of stability in the corners. This is the kind of shoe that's really good for something like a park run. At 5K all out, you got some fantastic grip on the bottom of the shoe as well. And also it's just nice and lightweight, and it's fast, and it's super snappy, perfect for that 5K distance. It's also pretty comfortable as well. As soon as you put this shoe on, it feels really nice, get a good lockdown. Really like this breathable upper as well, although it really has started to bunch quite a lot for me. We'll come on to that a little bit in the dislike. So let's start there. It does bunch a little bit for me here, so I'm always having to slightly adjust it. And as I say, it is a little bit on the firmer side. So if you're someone that likes a lot of ground contact feel, then you're gonna like this shoe. Some people like this, some people won't. It's probably gonna be a little bit firm for those marathon training runs you might be getting done, or even potentially racing up in a marathon, although it's a lot softer than what I used to run a marathon in about 5 or 6 years ago. But with the way foams are these days, this is now considered a low stack height, quite firm shoe. It's amazing how times change. And technology improves. But verdict overall, it's a great lightweight option for someone that likes doing a lot of speed work in their training. They like doing those tempos, those thresholds, looking for a lightweight shoe, and they aren't too much into their marathon racing, so they're going to be favoring the 5Ks, 10Ks and half marathons and not doing too much of those super long runs. Right, we've got 2 shoes left to go. This is now in the £200 plus price point. We're getting some big money. These next 2 shoes aren't going to be to everyone's taste, both quite high stack height shoes, but personally I really love these 2. Starting out with what will probably be my favorite shoe of the year, which is the Asics Superblast version 2. This set me back £200 here in the UK. If you can find it. It's really hard to find these shoes. They're in such high demand. Stack height at the back, 45mm stack height, 8mm drop overall, and weighing in at just 288 grams, which is a lovely lightweight feel. Midsole wise, we've got Asics' FF Turbo foam, which is their most premium foam that you're going to see in their high-end race shoes as well. And there's no plate in the shoe, but it is definitely on the firm side. One of those shoes, it doesn't need a plate. Not everybody loves a plate. I don't like to do a lot of my easy miles and training miles in a plated shoe, and this one just works really well, getting that stiffness from the foam. Sizing wise, I went half a size down, and what I really like about this shoe is it's just super versatile. This is the shoe, whenever we've been traveling, I can only take one shoe with me. This is definitely the shoe I'm wearing. You can wear this through the airport, go and get your marathon training long run, even do races. I have done races in this shoe. It can do everything super well. It's also extremely comfortable, and the shoe, as I say, that I reach for 90% of my training runs when I'm not testing out other shoes. It's so lightweight and allows you to pick up the pace really effortlessly as well. It's also held up pretty well. For the amount of money you're spending on the shoe, you want it to last a long time. I really think you can get a good 800 solid training miles out of this shoe. For me, I did my review. I can't remember how many miles I'd done in my first pair, but it was holding up really, really well. We'll link to that video up here if you want to check out my full Superblast review. But dislikes wise, as I said at the start, it's really difficult to get hold of a pair. It sells out pretty much on the day it comes out. And yes, it's really quite an expensive shoe, but the versatility and the durability really make up for that. My verdict overall with this shoe, a lightweight max cushion shoe, can handle every type of run and pace absolutely brilliantly. Expensive, but it does last a long time. Right, our final shoe of the day, £230 here in the UK for the New Balance SC Trainer version 3. Now, it's a really weird thing with this shoe. In some countries, it's a lot cheaper than that. In America, it's just $180 US. In Australia, 330 Australian dollars. So UK, Australia, really expensive. Canada, USA, this shoe is probably one of the categories below. It's just a really odd one, but I'm in the UK, so it's going in this price category here. Stack height at the back, 40mm stack height, 6mm drop overall. Weight-wise, not too bad, a little bit on the heavier side, 325 grams. The midsole, we've got a mix of that EVA and Puma midsole, which is a really good compromise for that softness, that responsive, and that durability. And then a carbon plate in the shoe as well for just that extra amount of rigidity and stability in the cornering. Likewise with this shoe, it's super comfortable straight out the box. Comfortable for those long runs, and this is what this shoe is. This is what New Balance pitched this is. This is their training shoe to complement their high-end racer. This is the one they want you to do all those speed sessions, those easy miles in, then picking out the SC Elite for when you're going racing. And yeah, as I said, it's great value if you do live in the USA or Canada, and a good option if you prefer that softer feeling with the shoe. This foam is really, really soft. It's going to look after your legs really fantastically well on those long runs. The plate here is not for that all-out speed. It's adding a good amount of stability. It's okay if you want to pick up the pace, but for me, this is a perfect shoe for people training for half marathons and marathons. You're doing those long runs and picking up the pace to marathon pace, up to half marathon pace. It's not the kind of shoe you want to be going for your 5 and 10Ks. You'll be much better off getting something like the Saucony. This is your all-out cruiser to really perfect those long runs. Dislikes, as I keep saying, the price is just crazy outside of the US, and it's really good, as I say, not the best option here for that speed work. It feels really good at marathon pace and half marathon pace, or slower recovery jogs and easy pace as well. So if you live in the USA, definitely pick up this shoe. It's a really fantastic option to get a lot of your daily training runs in. So let's have a chat all about my final thoughts here. My favorite shoe on the list, it has to be the Asics Superblast. It's just been an absolute joy. I want to carry on doing my training miles in that. But if you can't get the Superblast, then something like the Novablast 4, in fact, all of these shoes are good. That's why they're on the list. But the Novablast 4, as I say, is the option that I do end up recommending the most for that good mix of that cushioned responsiveness, speed work, and a good solid price point as well. Next up, I've got my video all about specific long run shoes. We'll link to that one up here. And if you want to look at my Superblast review and Superblast alternatives, that video is coming up down there. That's it, guys. Keep on working hard. Keep on doing. Let me know what your favorite daily training shoe is out there. And we'll see you very soon in the next one.